Gotcha. Dave Chappelle. You know how he says that? Gotcha. Well, guess what? I caught a catfish. Okay. I'm in my 70s, and there's dating apps out there. Now that I'm divorced, I have many single buddies that have been divorced for a long time, and it's dating apps. You won't believe the shit that's out there. Talk about catfish, spamming, trolls. It's all over the place. But I got a good one. My story is about Maria and Lisa. And believe me, I'm using these apps. They're so unbelievable that I'm using them for content. So let's face it, all you guys that are either divorced, single, disappointed, give up, what else can I say? Can't afford dates, at least play the game. And that's one of the things I do, because that is a needle in a haystack, especially when you're in 70s. And you won't believe some of these profiles these women put out there. I'm only coming from the man side of it, looking at dating a woman. I've seen requests. And don't forget, I'm looking for people over 50, 55, 60, you know. Yeah, I'm in my 70s, but I want somebody that's got experience. And I have an actual program that I work on, because I'm a strategic guy. I've been in business all my life. So I always have a roadmap or a strategy. And the key is discipline. But you got to be really patient. And some of these issues you won't believe. This one woman put a profile out there, and I'll name the apps that I've tried. I've been on Match, terrible. I've been on Bumble, not too bad. I've been on not Tinder or some of these others that my buddies have told me about. They're more for hookups. I'm looking for something serious. When I say serious, I'm talking about serious about life, not about take care of me. I'm not interested in that. So I actually have a roadmap that I actually work out from. And it's a 12-day program. Yeah, I know you're going to laugh. But who really pushed me over the top was Maria. Maria's the mother, Lisa's the daughter. And this woman, and I found out later, is a catfish. Okay? And I didn't know how catfish worked. And so I would actually take the WhatsApp text, videos, photos, emails, and there's actually a narrative, pictures of the kids and so on. I started putting that in AI. I put it in AI, and it spits it out. And understand that they know my history, what I'm looking for, what I'm not looking for, and so on. And basically, I use it towards the 3 T's. I've always said you need to trust somebody, you need to be transparent, and there's a timeline. So what I'm doing for dating is, here's my program. Do I trust them? Are they being honest and forthright? That's the due diligence. And then I have a timeline. And I give them 12 days. If they don't prove themselves in 12 days or less, it's over. And if it makes it to the 12 days, I have a contract. They have to sign a contract. And that's for preparation, because that contract is a 2-year dating. And they agree to a prenup if it gets serious. They agree to a background check. They tell me up front that they've never been busted for whatever. Domestic violence, drugs, alcohol, bankruptcy. I mean, it's a serious deal. Why? I'm in my 70s. I can't afford playing games with anybody. So I've decided, because you know I've been the divorce strategist for quite some time now, because I've experience, but now it's been almost 4 years, so now I'm at the point where, you know what? It's time for me to see if I could meet somebody, you know? And I need your help. But I also want to give you a heads up. It's not a bad idea. Why be angry? Why put all your time and effort into a catfish or a troll or bullshit, especially when they start asking for money? And the other thing is, you cut them out right away. You cut them out. But I've met a couple nice women that thought I was a catfish or scam or troll. And we went on WhatsApp. We were on video and everything. And we even talked about visits and so on. But then you start thinking about, hold it, Rock, go back to your game plan. Go back to your strategy. Does it meet this criteria on both sides? But I'm telling you, Maria contacted me, gave me the best photo of her, right? And you don't know if they're filtered or what. You don't know what's going on. And then I got that she's a widow. That's the other thing that you got to look for. There's a lot of people that say they're widows. Okay? On the woman's side, I don't know what they say because I'm honest on my profile. I put my age, I put my birth date, I put my nickname for now. But eventually they're going to know my name because my name's trademarked. I'm all over social media. I'm everywhere. So I'm okay with that. And then if there's a reach out, that's what I like about Bumble. They reach out to you if they're interested in you. Then you start checking into them. And the first thing I look for is video. And these apps have video. And if they don't answer that fucking call, or if they don't answer that video, that's the number one sign. But, you know, you got to give it a chance. You never know if somebody's for real or not. And I've come to the conclusion, or I should say, one of the alternatives is, will I meet someone through another source who knows me? But think about it. I'm here 70 years, 70 plus years. People know who I am and they know my personality. They know I've been married and divorced. They know a lot of that. But these so-called dating apps, this is bad shit, man. So going back to Maria looked like she was actually too good to be true. So what's that mean? Too good to be true. That's a sign, man. So I started really kind of looking into it. And the time zones are very important when people get a hold of you. I'm in Florida, and you could tell when somebody's in Asia and, you know, it's 12-hour difference and so on. I usually get Asians that, not Europeans as much. And if I'm working on domestic, I use the app where it says you're traveling and so on. But I'll tell you, that needle in a haystack, I mean, I think, and I usually just do 1-2 apps every 3 months or whatever, just to check things out. And I've gone back to Bumble because I think it's more legitimate, because the women have to pay for it. And the men do too. Okay, if you're interested in dates. You could go on there for free, but you're not going to get any access. So yeah, I'll pay and see what happens. And I would say, I'd be shocked if I would say I get a date a month. And I also look at it this way, because I have buddies in California. A date here in Florida, a nice date, dinner, maybe one drink, and a 2 to 3 hour discussion, and would cost you about $150. Okay? My buddies in California, they say, Rock, it's 2 drinks, a salad that they don't finish, and no activity later on. That's between $350 and $500 at a nice restaurant, because that's what they expect. So I already know from the profile and the photos, and, you know, if they're riding horses and they're doing all this, those are the best shots that they got. And I see high maintenance, precision, and I'm thinking, wow, they look so good. Yeah, they might be divorced, but what happened? And where did they get the money to continue on? Going back to Maria, that's part of the narrative of a catfish. They draw you in emotionally, and they start talking about, well, I'm a widow, I'm ready for a long-term relationship, my daughter's 9 years old, and then they start talking about they don't have a cell phone. Who doesn't have a cell phone? They're on WhatsApp, and they won't take a video call. So you play it. you play it, because to me, this is a case study. I'm trying to give you a heads up. Dating in the 70s is WhatsApp, is video, is technology, it's apps, and you got to be careful. Let's not talk about body count. That's the first thing I'm thinking about is disease. But some of these profiles, women will say, I'm not a baby mama. I want this. I want that. You have to be a millionaire. You have to be that. Seriously. No hookups, no sex until you earn it. This is in their profile. Oh my God.